Wings of Fire by APJ Abdul Kalam. This is the second lesson for the third semester students, foundation course. Most probably BSc students are learning this. I thought I can do the gist of it in a very easy manner so that you can understand the lesson. So before you could begin, I just read for you the paragraph. He talks about his teacher Ayadurai Solomon when he was studying as a 15-year-old boy in Shiva's High School, Ramanathapuram. So he talks much about this teacher Ayadurai Solomon, where he has become his ideal guide, and he was so comfortable in his classes. Like his teacher was open-minded, he had a good attitude towards the students, and he was a very skilled person. So he loved this person very much. The first and foremost teacher he introduces in his Wings of Fire is the teacher Ayadurai Solomon. Then he talks about his stay at Ramanathapuram. Now my relationship with him grew beyond that of a teacher and pupil in his company. I learned that one could exercise enormous influence over the events one's own life. So this Ayadore used to say, to succeed in life and achieve results, one must understand and master three mighty forces, he said: desire, belief, and expectation. So when you master these three things, you become successful in your life, you achieve what you want in life. So these three principles was really taken something very great by Abdul Kalam. So the three striving forces he talks is a desire, belief, and expectations. Then Ayadurai, who later became a reverend, taught me that before anything I wanted could happen, I had desire it intensely and be absolutely certain it would happen. So from him he has learned. So whatever he wants first, he had a desire to have it. So absolutely he knows that it will happen in future. To make an example from one's own life, I had been fascinated by the mysteries of the sky and the flight of birds from early childhood. So he had this liking towards this flight of birds and how and always seeing into the sky. I used to watch cranes and seagulls soar into flight and longed to fly. So this is how it's said. He too loved to fly like flies, like the birds. And he used to sit and watch the seagulls near the seashores, the beauty of them. So all this, instilled him a lot of desires to fly. Then he talks about Ayadurai Solomon was a great teacher because he instilled in all the children a sense of their own worth. So very importantly, he was teaching them the worthiness of their own selves. First of all, you should know who you are. Are you worth or you not worth? So this installation is was made by this Ayadurai teacher. Solomon raised my self-esteem to a high point and convinced me, like the son of parents who had not had the benefits of education, that I too could aspire to become whatever I wish. With faith, you can change your destiny, he would say. So we are. He was the family was not much of a wealthy family, and he only insisted this desire. So the wishes, with that you can fly to heights. This is the wordings of Solomon Ayature, and that has made Radhakrishnan, Abdul Kalam grow in his life. So one day when I was in fourth form, my mathematics teacher, so next teacher is talking about Ramakrishna Iyer, was teaching another class. Inadvertently, I wandered into that classroom, and in the manner of an old-fashioned despot, Ramakrishna Iyer caught me by the neck and caned me in front of the whole class. Many months later, when I scored full marks in mathematics, I narrated the incident to the entire school at the morning assembly. Whomsoever I can becomes a great man. So take my word, this boy is going to bring glory to the school and to his teachers. His praise quite made me, okay, the earlier. Forget all my earlier humiliation. So one fine day, his mathematics teacher, he used to come. One day, Ramakrishna Iyer caned him. Okay, he bet him very badly, and that has made him, instilled him to learn that subject well, and to prove that he also could do things. Who Kalam. So one fine day, when he got good scores, that fellow, sorry, that teacher tried to say, like, see, whomever I'm caning will become very good people, very good humans in their lifetime. So he was so happy to get that comment, and that was being told by him in the assembly, and this made Kalam very very happy. And then when we move to the last, like when he is going to at the end of the pages of this page, we could see by the time he completed his education, I was confident boy determined to succeed. So the decision to go in for further education was taken without a second thought. To us in those days, awareness of the possibilities of professional education did not exist. So they don't know like what to do next, what higher professions they should go in. So this higher education he was into, and the nearest college was at Tiruchirappalli. They had to go, and there he wanted to study. In 1950, I arrived at St. Joseph's College, Trichy, to study the intermediate examination, and I was not a bright student in terms of exceptional grades, but thanks to my two buddies back in Rameshwaram, I expired a practical bent of mind. So he has come to Trichy now to enroll himself in St. Joseph's College for doing an intermediate education examinations. So because that has been made by him by his friends in the schoolings, like Rameswaram friends helped him out. So when he returned, and we could see to the next thing, when he went to the Rameshwaram Shavaz, my elderly brother, like he is talking about his brother, how they run their a shop near the railway station, and how he helped him and what he is doing there. All this created an impact on Abdul Kalam. Then he was lucky enough to find a teacher like Reverend Father there. It was T.N. Secura. He taught us English and was also a hostel warden. So we were about 100 boys living in the three-story building. Reverend Father used to visit each boy every night with the Bible in his hand. His energy and his patience was amazing. He was a considered person who took care of even the most minute requirements of his students. So his love for him was improved because of this. He used to come with the Bible to all the boys in the hostel, and he used to give a lot of preach so many things to them. So he loved them. On Deepavali, on his instructions, the brother in charge of the hostel and mess volunteered him, like giving them the gingerly oil for the ritual bath, and all this was happening. So happy Abdul Kalam was under this Reverend, Father, Reverend Father T.N. Secura. And then so as long as he stayed in that on the St. Joseph's campus for 4 years and shared my room with two others. One was an Orthodox Iyengar from Srirangam, and the other a Syrian Christian from Kerala. So the three of them had a wonderful time together. When I was made secretary of the Vegetarian Mess during my third year in my hostel, we invited Rector Reverend Father Kaladil over for lunch one Sunday. So when in the third year he managed to become the secretary for the vegetarian mess. So he made his Reverend Father come one day for the lunch. Our menu included the choices, preparations from our diverse backgrounds. The result was rather unexpected. Reverend Father was lavish in his praise for our efforts. We enjoyed every moment with Reverend Father Kalathir, who participated in our unsophisticated conversation with childlike enthusiasm. It was a memorable day for him. So he remembers that person coming and he becoming the hostel, the secretary of that vegetarian mess, and all this made Abdul Kalam very happy, and he brought his Reverend Father also to have a lunch with him. So my teachers as in Joseph were true followers of Kanchi Paramacharya, who were people to enjoy the action of giving. So they are very happy because they followed Kanchi Paramacharya's words. They enjoyed the action of giving. So with the vivid memory of a mathematics teacher, Professor Thotatri Iyengar and Professor Surya Narayana Sastri walking together on the campus inspires me on this day. So to this day, so the way they walk on the campus itself was a great inspiration for Abdul Kalam. So he mentions it in today's writing. You should remember how much it has impacted him. So when I was in the final year at St. Joseph's, I acquired a taste for English literature. I began to read great classics like Tolstoy, Scott, and Hardy being special favorites despite their exotic settings. And then I moved on to some works in philosophies. So he had a liking for reading literature too, and he loved Scott's, Tolstoy's, Hardy's, all those things, all those great writers. It was around this time that I developed a great interest in physics. So this is a time when he developed a love for his physics. So the lessons on the subatomic physics at St. Joseph's to my by my physics teacher Professor Chinnadurai and Professor Krishnamurthy introduced me to the concept of the half-life period and matters related to the radioactive decay of cells. So now only he's talking about the science, and his professors over here made him think a lot. So again and again he is talking about the Subramanian Iyer, his secret Ramesh. He's comparing himself to Subramanian Iyer, like how he used to teach there, what he used to say. So see, this is how he creates the impacts of one thing creates on the other. Then after talking about this, even the rational thoughts, matrices of science, fairy tales, so many things lingered in his mind now. When we move into the next part he's talking about is, now he got interest in science. Now what has happened? Now he's talking about space. So what about this astronomy? He's talking about astronomy. Satellites and science are they same? So all this is a small discussion he makes in this lesson, and then we come to the next part. What he is trying to say is the movements of science. This full of electronics and how the participles break, how ions break per second. What is it? Full of science. How we happen to have a liking or create a liking towards this electrons and this physics. Now. He wanted to join a degree course. So at St. Joseph's, I was unaware of any other option. So when he joined that BSc degree, he was unaware of the options. Now he thought he should do a technical course. So he wanted to hunt for a technical course, and he thought in South India, MIT was the best, um, you know. Institution to give technical education. So he thought he should join in MIT, and he mapped out to list. He was mapped out as in the selected candidates list in the prestigious institution, but it was not simple task for him to join. He had to pay a lot of money, but in this paragraph he says that his sister pledged her bangles to pay Abdul Kalam's fees. So that is a touching story that also comes in over here. So he was fascinated at MIT, and they had this decommissioned aircraft displayed there. So from there only this aircraft liking had a lot of impact on Abdul Kalam's life. So one by one he talks here about his classes, his teachers. Again his teachers at MIT, he talks about Professor K.V. Pandalai and Professor Narasimha Rao. So and they were the great teachers who shaped his career in the future part. And then we could see the Professor Sponder taught me technical aerodynamics. So he was an Austrian person with rich practical knowledge. See, we could see Abdul Kalam stating all these great professors who were, molded him into the best of the best, and that is why you should know that he is a scientist, great scientist of India, known for the great things which he has launched. So now you could see, notwithstanding these all these, he is trying to say about all his professors, who are his professors, how they molded him. And then he is talking about the Pandalai, K.V. Pandalai, who has created a great impact on his career. And then finally, he's talking about Narasimha Rao as a mathematician who taught us theoretical anatomy. So each and every single subject handled by the staff members is clearly, given a constraint by APJ Abdul Kalam in this lesson, Wings of Fire. And so when we see the last part, we could see that other subject people also inspired him a lot. Often I have been told I carry a surgical knife to astronomical design. So another professor also is into the pitch here. It is Professor Rao. Okay, and he's talking about aeronautics, a favorite subject that has become for him favorite at MIT, and all that has become only his favorites because of his teachers. So this is what he's trying to conclude in his lesson over. I mean, it's a big book, it's a big book, but we have just shortened it for the purpose of just giving a gist of it. So this is MIT is a great thing, and it has taught them a lot of ethical values, relatives towards a spiritual interest. So this is how he ends up his lesson. The value system in which I had been nurtured was was profoundly religious. So whatever it is, very well, our Indians will always be considering or thinking about the religious aspects that takes us to heights. So this is what he is concluding his lesson with all, which is all about. Thanks a lot. So in the next video, I would be uploading for you the answers of this book back exercises. Thank you.